This agate came out glassy, smooth, and exactly how you'd want a tumbled stone to look. But this piece of petrified wood, put through the same tumbling process, came out a little bit chipped, dull, and honestly, disappointing. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. It is one of the most frustrating things in rock tumbling. You use the same grit, the same stages, and the same care. And still one rock shines while the other one falls apart. So, just what happened? Here's the secret. In many cases, the biggest problem is not your tumbler and not your method. It's the rock itself. You see, the number one reason petrified wood will not take a great polish is because of something hiding inside of the material. Silica variability. In this video, I'll show you what that means, how to spot it before you waste weeks in the tumbler, and how to choose the pieces most likely to reward you with that smooth, glassy shine. Before we go any further, here is the fast version. If a piece of petrified wood is porous, fractured, or unevenly silicified, it may never polish well, no matter how carefully you tumble it. Now, let's talk about the why. You see, petrified wood is a fossil formed when wood is buried quickly, usually in sediment or volcanic material, and it's protected from normal decay. Over a very long time, mineral-rich water moves through the buried wood. Silica, the same basic material found in quartz and agate, fills in and replaces the original structure of the wood. That is what makes petrified wood so amazing. It preserves the grain and the structure of ancient wood, but it does not always do so evenly. Some pieces become heavily silicified, dense, and hard, almost like agatized wood. Those pieces are excellent candidates for rock tumbling. Oh boy. But other pieces may still contain softer zones, tiny pores, weathered areas, or microscopic fractures. Even if the rock looks good at first glance, it may actually be a mix of tougher and weaker material. And that is where the trouble begins. Oh boy. When a piece contains both hard and softer areas, the tumbler does not wear it down evenly. The weaker spots break down faster, pits open up, edges chip, and the surface never becomes uniformly smooth enough for that true polish. That is why two pieces of petrified wood can look similarly on the outside, but only one comes out with that beautiful finish. The good news is that a lot of success happens before the tumbler is even turned on. The better you get at choosing your rough specimens, the better your final results will be. First, use your eyes. Look for pieces that seem dense, solid, and tight-textured. If a piece has a waxy or slightly glassy look, even when dry, that is usually a very good sign. But be cautious with anything that looks chalky, crumbly, overly grainy, or full of visible cracks. Deep fractures and flaky spots are usually warning signs. Second, do a simple scratch test. You see, good petrified wood is often hard enough to take a steel nail and it will not bite easily into it. If that nail only leaves a metallic mark that just rubs away, that is encouraging. But if it digs in or scratches the material easily, that piece may be just a little bit too soft for a clean polish. This is not a perfect lab test, but a very helpful quick check. Third, think about the shape and structure. Thick, solid pieces usually hold up much better than thin ones or fragile ones. The tumbler can round edges, but it can't fix a weak material. If a piece already looks delicate before stage 1, it is more likely to break down in coarse grit. A few careful minutes spent checking your rough rocks can save you weeks of frustration later. If you have ever had a batch of petrified wood come out dull, chipped, or pitted, let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear what happened and what kind of material you were working with. Now, let's walk through the tumbling process, because this is where good petrified wood proves itself and weak petrified wood starts to reveal its problems. Stage 1. The coarse grind, 60 to 90 grit. This is the most important stage for petrified wood. It's also the stage where bad material usually exposes itself. You see, softer spots wear down faster, hidden fractures open up, and weak surfaces begin to pit and chip. For agate, this stage can sometimes feel easy, but for petrified wood, this stage takes a little bit of patience. Plan on 2 to 3 weeks in this coarse grit and sometimes even longer. And check your barrel weekly. If a piece is shaping up nicely, you can always pull it aside. If it still has pits or rough weak areas, send it back in with fresh grit. This is not wasted time. This is the stage where you earn the final polish. Alright, stage 2, the medium grind 150 to 220 grit. This is your cleanup and correction stage. After the coarse grind, you want to see whether the piece is truly smoothing out or whether the same weak spots keep showing themselves. If needed, let petrified wood stay there a little bit longer than the standard 1-week run. Like I said, sometimes it may take several weeks. This might also be a great area to introduce ceramic media, which becomes very important later on. The media cushions the stones and helps reduce chipping from impacts. And one important note here: don't mix fragile petrified wood with harder, tougher material that can just beat it up. Even good petrified wood can get damaged if it's tumbling with rougher or more aggressive stones. We are on to stage 3, the pre-polish 500 and 600 grit. Now, this is the checkpoint stage. After pre-polish, dry off a test piece and really look at it. If the surface is evenly smooth with a soft satin look, you're in really good shape. If you still see dull pockets, rough areas, or little pits, that is a sign the piece may not be dense enough for a true mirror finish. At this point, be honest with the rock. Some pieces are simply not going to become that perfect polished stones, and it's better to recognize that here than to hope the final polish will magically fix it, because unfortunately, it will not. Polish can enhance a good surface, but it can't repair a weaker one. And here we are, stage 4, the polish aluminum oxide, or maybe even cerium oxide stage. And this is the reward stage. For most tumblers, aluminum oxide is a great standard polish. Cerium oxide can also work very well in highly silicified material. If your petrified wood made it cleanly through the earlier stages, this is where the grain starts to glow and the whole piece just comes alive. And if one piece still comes out a little bit dull, that usually isn't the proof that you failed. It is often proof that the material itself was never uniform enough to take that deep shine. So, what happens when you choose carefully and stay patient? This piece of petrified wood started out as a solid, dense chunk with no major visible fractures. It passed the scratch test, held together well in coarse grind, and kept improving through each stage. After the full process, it came out with this beautiful glassy surface that really shows off that ancient wood grain. That is the difference. You see, the secret is not a magical grit recipe. It's understanding the material in your hands. To recap the key points. Number 1, select smart. Choose dense, solid pieces and be cautious with anything porous, weathered, or fractured. Number 2, test early. Use a simple scratch check with a careful visual inspection before you commit a piece to the tumbler. Number 3, be patient in coarse. Give petrified wood the time it needs to reveal those weak spots and smooth out properly. Number 4, protect the stones. Use ceramic media and avoid tumbling fragile petrified wood with tougher material that can damage it. And number 5, accept the truth of the rock. Some pieces will just never take a perfect polish, and that's because of their natural makeup, not because of something you did wrong. Tumbling petrified wood can be one of the most rewarding parts of this hobby, because you are polishing the remains of a tree that lived thousands and thousands of years ago. But a dull batch does not always mean you failed. Sometimes the rock is simply telling you the truth about what it is. Thanks for watching, and if you want a full step-by-step process for tumbling petrified wood from start to finish, I've got my full-length masterclass linked in the description below. Alright, my friends, wishing you peace and joy. Happy tumbling.